Deep in the heart of the Sundarbans, where the mangrove roots twisted like ancient fortresses and the river whispered secrets to the wind, a new life stirred. The jungle hummed with life, the calls of birds, the rustle of leaves, and the distant splash of fish in the waterways. But today, the forest rhythm shifted. In a hidden den, beneath the roots of a colossal banyan tree, a tigress lay curled protectively around her newborn cubs. Among them was one whose stripes were bolder, more defined than the others, and whose amber eyes shimmered with a fire the forest had never known. The tigress, Sundari, nuzzled her cub gently. This one, she sensed, carried a destiny greater than the jungle had yet witnessed. She named him Firestripe, for the intensity in his gaze and the fiery brilliance of his coat. From the first moments of his life, Firestripe was curious. The forest symphony, the distant roar of another tiger, the murmur of the river, the flutter of wings, filled him with wonder. Even as a tiny cub, he moved with surprising grace, and a confidence shone in his eyes that made Sundari proud. Yet the jungle was no sanctuary. A band of jackals prowled nearby, their yellow eyes glinting with hunger. Sundari's ears twitched, and a low growl warned the intruders. Firestripe, sensing danger for the first time, swiped clumsily at the air with his tiny paws. Sundari chuckled softly. One day she knew he would stand as her equal, if not more. Days passed in a blur of learning. Sundari taught him to stalk, to listen to the forest, and to recognize the songs of prey. He learned which river paths held fish, which bushes concealed unsuspecting birds, and how shadows could make him invisible. Though small, Firestripe's instincts were remarkable, and his determination burned bright like the morning sun piercing the canopy. One evening, under the silver light of the rising moon, Firestripe ventured a little too far from the den. A young deer grazed unaware. Firestripe crouched instinctively, mimicking everything his mother had taught him. His heart raced, muscles coiled, but he tumbled clumsily into mud. The deer bounded away. Sundari arrived, nuzzling him gently. "Every hunter falls before they rise," she murmured. "The jungle does not forgive hesitation, but it rewards those who persist." From that night, Firestripe carried that lesson in his stride. Each day brought challenges: slippery riverbanks, sudden storms, and encounters with snakes. Each challenge sharpened him, forging patience and courage. By 6 months, he had faced his first taste of the jungle's harshness. A rival tigress had encroached on Sundari's territory. Hidden among the roots, Firestripe watched as his mother defended their den with ferocity. That night, he vowed silently. One day, he would be the master of this jungle. The rainy season arrived, drenching the mangroves in endless torrents. The river swelled, roots became slick with mud, and the jungle became a maze of shadows and sound. Firestripe, now nearly a year old, padded along the riverbank, his coat darkened by the rain. Sundari observed him from a distance. "You must learn the jungle's rules," she called. "Hunting is survival, not sport. Every mistake can cost you your life." Firestripe's amber eyes blazed. Today, he would hunt alone. A flock of birds stirred overhead, heart pounding. Firestripe crouched low, muscles coiled. He leapt, but misjudged the distance and landed in a puddle. The birds scattered, but the lesson was clear. Patience and timing were everything. Deeper in the forest, a low growl warned him of another presence. From the shadows, a young male tiger emerged, Kavi, ambitious and sharp-eyed. They circled, growls low, muscles tense. Firestripe remembered his mother's lessons. Confidence, not recklessness. They clashed, a blur of fur, claws, and teeth. Kavi finally retreated, but Firestripe had learned the first law of the jungle. Territory was earned through courage. Hunger followed. The rainy season made hunting difficult, yet Firestripe persisted. Hours passed until he caught a young boar, not perfect, but enough to survive. That night, Sundari licked his fur gently. You are growing strong, Firestripe, but the jungle is never truly tamed. Its lessons are endless. Firestripe gazed at the canopy, determination burning in his chest. Each trial, each failure, each hunt had forged him. He was no longer a cub. He was becoming a hunter, a survivor, a force to be reckoned with. The forest had shifted since Firestripe's first trials. Now nearly 2 years old, he moved with fluid grace, each step precise. He was no longer clumsy. His muscles were honed, instincts sharp. Sundari watched as he crouched near a herd of deer. You have grown strong, she murmured, but a hunter must be patient, clever, and adaptable. Today, you test everything you've learned. Firestripe stopped, eyes narrowing. Every rustle of leaves, every splash of water was analyzed. Then he leapt. The chase was swift, powerful. He brought down his prey with precision. Triumph surged, but the jungle's challenges were not over. From the shadows emerged Kavi, a rival testing his strength again. They circled, growled, and clashed. Firestripe relied on years of lessons, patience, strategy, agility. Finally, Kavi retreated. Firestripe had defended his kill and his claim, growing into the hunter he was meant to become. That night, he lay atop a high perch. The forest thrummed with life, yet Firestripe felt a new confidence. The jungle would test him again, but he was ready. Months passed. Firestripe, now fully grown, sought his own territory. The land he chose was fertile, with rivers teeming with fish and open clearings for deer. But another male stood in his way, Rohan, a scarred, formidable tiger. They clashed, fierce and relentless. Paws tore earth, claws sliced roots, and roars echoed through the mangroves. Firestripe, combining strength, strategy, and speed, forced Rohan to retreat. His roar proclaimed dominion, warning all who might challenge him. Firestripe patrolled, hunted with precision, and respected the jungle's balance. Then he met Sahara, a tigress with sharp eyes and golden fur. Initially cautious, their mutual respect grew, forming a partnership of strength and balance. Through storms, rivals, and the subtle threat of humans at the forest edge, Firestripe maintained vigilance. Other tigers whispered of the golden male with fiery eyes, the one whose mastery was both cunning and wisdom. Firestripe had become a guardian and ruler of his realm. Years passed. Firestripe ruled his territory with skill, courage, and fairness. Sahara shared his dominion, and their cubs learned the ways of the jungle under their parents' watchful eyes. One morning, young challengers tested his borders. A fierce confrontation erupted, echoing through the mangroves. Firestripe's skill, patience, and wisdom prevailed. Reaffirming his authority, Firestripe patrolled rivers, taught his cubs hunting, and guided the delicate balance of the jungle. Birds, deer, and tigers alike carried tales of his courage. His legacy was growing. Under a full moon, Firestripe stood atop a riverbank, Sahara and their cubs beside him. He let out a mighty roar that echoed across the forest, a declaration of strength, wisdom, and sovereignty. From cub to hunter to king, Firestripe had risen, and the jungle would never forget the tiger who had mastered its heart.